Since the end of last year, the price of crude oil has plummeted to some of the lowest prices seen in over a decade. Yet since the middle of last month, the price of crude oil has been steadily increasing. And in fact, on the daily charts, we've now got a nice technical uptrend formed in the markets. So is the big sell-off in oil prices finally over? My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision, and I'm going to take an in-depth look at the oil markets to see what the charts are telling us. So if we take a look at the monthly chart first of all, I've marked in a level in here around the 85 area, and just sort of going back to 2001, 2002, we can see the significance of this level. It's been resistance in the past, it's been support many times over the past sort of 5 or 6 years, and we can see the significance of this move that we've had since December last year. If we open up the weekly chart now, we can see on the weekly chart how many more times this market has really precisely tested 85, found support and bounced off it. Now, as a technical trader, of course, we like these support and resistance structures in the markets because they represent sort of trading opportunities, and there's many trading opportunities around these levels. However, at the current level of where price is, we've still got quite a long way before the market ever comes back up to 85. So I want to focus on the recent price action here on the weekly chart. So if I zoom into this, we can see the structure of the trend. We've got a low, we've got a lower high and a lower low. But taking a look at the structure of this low here in the market, this was also coupled with a technique here that we use on the RSI and the MACD to read the strength of momentum in the markets. And you can see that whilst we had a lower low in price, we actually had increasing strength of momentum as indicated by our MACD and our RSI here. And in fact, the market has now had quite a significant move up. More interestingly also is the market is now sort of coming back up to the area where it's actually found around this lower high in the market as well. So potentially coming up to a sort of decision point area in the markets. So if we take a look at the daily chart now, and we can see really sort of since the sort of beginning of 2015, we can see that the market has really sort of been in a sort of a sideways sort of action here on the daily chart, and more recently since the middle of last month, I should say, we've now formed into a nice uptrend here. The uptrend is confirmed with strengthening momentum here in the markets as well. And if we just start to mark in some structure here too, if I just mark a level in here underneath the through this market here, we can see that this area around the sort of 58 area where the market's found support in the past in the downtrend, it's also found resistance a number of times, and we can see that we've got at least 3 tests of the high here. We've also got another test of the area at this moment in time, although we're also in a nice uptrend at this moment in time. So on the daily chart, market looks very, very nice in an uptrend. Moving averages all in the nice right order. We've got nice agreement with the momentum and the direction of the market, but we've just come up to what I think is quite a significant decision point here in the market, just directly underneath this sort of 60 level. So if we come down to the lower time frames and start to see what else we can see here, taking a look at the 240 chart now, what I want to do is, we're quite zoomed out on this time frame, and I just want to mark in this sort of higher level. So if I mark in the highs somewhere around here, we can see that the significance of where price action is at the moment. It's been resistance, support, sorry, a couple of times here. It's been resistance significantly a number of times, and if I zoom into the current sort of price action, we can see that the market's tested in this swing up to the high. It's tested this this high, this sort of 58 level, a number of times. In fact, it's not really surprising then that we're starting to see some pullback here in the markets, understanding the significance of this sort of 58 level area. In fact, looking at the market at the moment, we're starting to get a downtrend formed here in this market. We've got a low, a lower high, and a lower low again. Coupled that with agreement from our indicators in the direction of the trend. Now, if I just zoom back out of this, just to get some perspective again of this market, the question is, if the market is selling off now, where might be the next sort of decision points in the markets? And I think if we start to look back on the time frames here, and I start to look back, there's a level round here. It's around the sort of 52 area, and the reason I'm sort of looking at this sort of this far out is because if we just see here, each time the market has tested 58 again, it's come back to the 52 area. Tested it here, came back to 52. Tested it again, came back to 52. Back here again, test again, back to 52. We can see how many times this level has actually acted as support and resistance in the market, and it's also clusters with the previous swing low here, or the higher low in price. So the market, because it's each time it tests sort of 58, comes back to 52, also happens to be the technical low. I think the 52 coupled with the sort of 58 area up here at the old highs are the significant levels that we've got there in the market. These are the significant decision points, certainly in the near term for me. So if we get a trade back to 52, if we get a break underneath 52, then I think we can certainly see lower prices down to these old lows, and maybe even a continuation lower. If we get a break above, a decisive break above the 58 area, then I think we could be looking for higher prices and a longer move towards the upside as well. So let me just come across to the TradeStation website, and one of the if you like the analysis, then you might be interested in a webinar that we're running on the 29th of April. Today's top charts, the futures markets. We're going to be taking a look at the futures markets in detail, some of the most interesting markets, trends, market structures, and where those trading opportunities are on those markets and on those different sort of time frames. So the way you can find out more information about this webinar is to come to the TradeStation International website, come across to the webinars tab over here and click on live webinars. You'll then see all of the webinars listed here that we've got scheduled to run. You can just click on the title and this will give you more detail here about the content of that particular event, and also some detail about the presenter that's going to be running that. So I hope you found it useful and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.